Well, hello, Gig Harbor Film Festival fans and supporters. My name is Matt Haver, and I'm a local actor, director, and frequent festival MC and volunteer. As part of our upcoming Monday movie night series at the Galaxy, we'll be screening the five Oscar-nominated short films in the live action category. The films are Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent, and A Lean, which was written and directed by David Cutler-Kreutz and Sam Cutler-Kreutz, and edited by our guest, Caitlin Carr. We're so glad to have her with us. She's based in Brooklyn, and Caitlin is a versatile, award-winning editor whose portfolio spans music videos, commercials, narrative work. Her past projects include Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License, Gucci's Five Self-Love Habits, and the film Blue Sun Palace, which had its world's premiere last year in Cannes in 2024, took home the French Touch Jury Prize. So, Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the nomination.
Thank you.
So, your film from 2023, A LIEN, tells the story of a young couple who, on the day of their green card interview, confront this really dangerous immigration process. Academy Award-winning filmmaker Adam McKay called it pure cinematic tension, and tension, I think, is the right word for it when I watched it. Uh, it's exactly why I wanted to track you down. The constant action, the jump cuts, the cutaways, etc. It really added to that feeling of suspense. So, who better to talk to than the editor? Can you give me a little quick history on your career that led you up to this point and how you got involved in the project?
Sure, I would love to. I started, like you said, as a music video editor and in kind of documentary work, moved into longer form. And then I would say around the pandemic, I had to kind of make a choice. And I felt like indie narratives were really the direction I wanted to head. Luckily, I had been making friends here. I've been in Brooklyn for about 10 years. So I was able to kind of tap into the community of filmmakers. And I met Sam and David Cutler-Kreutz through our mutual friend, Tara Sheffer, who is a producer on the film. And we have done two shorts together now. So it's been a creative collaboration. It's a really great relationship that we've been building.
Well, it sounds like it. And so, and the film itself really is about as timely as it gets, unfortunately, I suppose, with just the issues of race and family and immigration and things that I'm sure were not lost on the Academy when it came to selecting the nominees. What has this film come to mean to you personally, or maybe during the process of putting it together? What did it mean to you?
Well, I would say, I mean, I think that it has obvious resonance that we can all get in touch with right now. We were cutting it in 2022, so um, it was after Trump's first term. I'm not sure how political we want to get, but he is also in the piece, which you'll see.
Right.
It was really a response to his first term and the changes that were happening then. And it was also, like I said, during the pandemic. So was a lot of there was a lot of fear, but there was also a lot of community building. And I would say being a
Mhm.
part of this story and working with the team who really wanted to talk about it was like a really great way to feel productive, really, in that moment.
Yeah, and it's always interesting how you make a piece of art maybe even years prior, and then life comes full circle, and here it is, so relevant, maybe even more than it was when it was first put together. So you're no stranger to the film festival scene for sure. Many awards, nominations, domestic, international film community. So really excited to be able to screen this here at the Gig Harbor Film Festival. But you got to tell me, so what did it mean to you to get that call that Alien had been nominated for an Oscar, having won at Cannes and things like that? But this is the big one, right?
Yeah, it was unexpected, really, because we were edited a while ago, and Sam and David and I have since then worked on a project Trapped, which went to South by this last year, 2024, and won a jury prize, which is also awesome.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, thank you. So it really was interesting how Alien came back around, and I don't know, just bliss, pure bliss finding that out. And I think really, I gotta say, it is cool to be nominated, and it's so cool to be like in these shorts blocks that are going to be in theaters and at festivals. But like the best part is that it's online and people can see it and it's a story that people can connect to. I feel like that it's awesome that it's like right now in the zeitgeist and that people are watching it.
Yeah, I saw it on Vimeo, which is easy to find. Just Alien on Alien, excuse me, and just yeah, on Vimeo. Search that up. Easy to find. We want obviously all our viewers to wait and see it on the big screen. But if you just can't handle it, you need to go see it now. That's where you can find it. Editing. Coppola, he famously called editing the essence of cinema. But I feel like even as movie buffs, as movie lovers, people who watch a lot of films, we just don't really get a good feel. Like, what does an editor do? We have this image of, editors hunched over rolls of celluloid, dark rooms lit by, a little small screen and that, ubiquitous glow of a cigarette. But tell us, how do you actually spend your days as an editor?
Oof. Well, I wish I was hunched over the celluloid. Instead, I'm hunched over my keyboard. But I think it's a very similar process. I mean, I'm looking through footage, the same footage over and over, listening to the same thing over and over, which actually in this day and age is kind of a skill we already have. You get into music, you listen to the same track over and over, you watch videos, you're like scrolling all the time. I feel lucky that I can put that channel that into the edit. You know what I mean? So let's see, what else could I tell you about my days? Right, it's a lot of working at the computer, but I'd say it's also a lot of collaborating and having conversations with other filmmakers, other editors, just to make sure we're all on the same track. And like that's it, that's like a huge part of the process for me too, is like just having conversations with people who love to make movies. And it can get kind of theoretical or it can get pretty creative. And yeah, I would say it's also a lot about communicating other than just putting in the hours plugging away at the computer.
Yeah, it's definitely perseverance and that communication piece. Is there any other like a skill or temperament that you think an editor needs to have?
Oh boy, that's interesting. I think
Patience and long
patience, calm,
suffering. Yeah.
yeah, ability to suffer. Put that at the top. No, I would say a calmness, a groundedness, because you kind of have to just be the anchor when there are a bunch of ideas flying around and a bunch of emotions, because I think that's also a huge part of filmmaking. You just kind of have to stay grounded and be able to zoom out and see the big picture. That's like a great asset to have.
Was there a certain filmmaker or maybe a film that really spoke to you that got you interested in this line of work? Anything from your past that stands out?
I love that question. I think of Dogtooth immediately,
Hmm.
which was a very early Yorgos movie. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but it changed everything for me because it showed me that film is art in this really beautiful way. I come from an art background, a photography background, and that to me, watching that movie was like, oh, we can both tell a story and communicate a human, like an existential question. We can communicate about our needs and our wants and our desires and create a conversation, but it can be beautiful and it can be chilling and it can be just, it's a beautiful combination. That movie is what I think of first, definitely.
Now you're in Brooklyn. Obviously with technology, a lot of this stuff can be done kind of wherever you are. Is this a type of thing that you can do from home now with modern tech?
Yeah, and I would
Oh,
say to
nice.
bring it back to, yeah, definitely to bring it back to Aileen, we were doing Zoom sessions with each other a majority of the time. Um, Although some of the team lives in Brooklyn, but yeah, it's been nice that technology has developed and you can be like a little more fluid with that, like where you are and how you're talking to people. And I think, the like radical thing that happened in 22 or 2023 um, with editing was when everything everywhere all at once
Mm.
won an Oscar, because that their editor got up and spoke about the process as well and how they had worked on Premiere, which we also used for A LIEN, and had developed with the Premiere team the tech and the software in order to like make this incredible feature length film that ended up winning an Oscar. Like that to me is pretty exciting. Just as far as like tech stuff goes with editing, it's come a really long way and it's made it a lot easier to sure work remotely, but also work efficiently.
You just accomplished my favorite guest thing, which is segueing for me into my next question, which I love. Is I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the tech. You said it's changed a lot in the years that you've been editing. You know, AI is always kind of that specter on the horizon for a lot of folks in the arts. Is there a threat to the editing process from AI at all that you're kind of keeping, finger on the pulse of? Is that the next big step for editing software, technology, things like that?
This is interesting because I'd love to give an example. I'm working on a documentary now.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say AI is coming in a big way for us in that I can transcribe and caption all of my footage within Premiere, just as an
Hmm.
example of how I'm benefiting from it right now. I would say at this moment in time, AI is scary because it looks like it might be coming for our jobs or just changing things. But the best way to approach it, I think, is just to use it to your advantage. And that's why, yeah, an advantage I have found in within Premiere, within editing, is being able to transcribe for documentaries. I use it in the same way for commercial work. Um, so yeah, I found that it's a handy tool when you can make it work for you. I can say that again.
As with
It's a
all
handy
things,
tool.
yeah.
It's a handy
Handy
tool when you
being
can
the
make it work.
right, handy
Sorry.
being the key word, like in whose hands is this technology, in, and
Yeah.
where they want to take it. So I was glad it's helpful at least for now. There's the old joke about, if I'd had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. A Alien just it runs just 14 minutes and 36 seconds. Can you tell us about the challenges unique to, because you've done, feature stuff, you've done music videos, all different lengths here. Can you tell us about the challenges unique to the short film storytelling? How do you select those important pieces of film to include? Is it just gut experience?
Interesting. I would say first and foremost, it is the writing. It's in the writing. Like it does start there. Like the story was pretty tight already once I read the script. Sam and David did an amazing job with that. So in this case, there wasn't a ton of expanding or contracting that I had to do. Um, and I'm sorry, I lost track of this one. What was the question again? I'm so sorry.
Oh, just about since you've worked in so many different medium and lengths of different media, the unique challenges to the short film genre, just
Okay.
getting, how do you select those important moments, I suppose? Is it just, just becomes second nature? But you did speak to that a little bit, the writing. I mean, if it's on the page.
I do feel like it was the writing, and in this case, we weren't necessarily chopping a ton of scenes or performances or anything like that. Although we were also working with pacing, I would say that is the most important part of a short is making sure that you have an arc within the given amount of time. You don't overstay your welcome, and that's also the beauty of a short. It's short, it's concise, and it's a little snippet of a story. It's a really special medium.
It really is. I'm a big fan of the short story, the novella, for the same reasons, and respect a lot of people who can, write that way, just for that exact reason you say. It's so difficult to get that full arc in, 80 pages, 100 pages, 15 minutes. And something I forgot to look up, what is the cutoff for a short film to be considered for, or well, to be considered a short film at all, but then for nomination for an award like this?
Ooh, I don't know about for awards, but for festivals, I think it can be up to 20 or 30 minutes, possibly. Actually, maybe you know better than I do. And then for features, I think anything over 50 minutes. So
Okay.
it might just be under 50. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, next question is what's next for you? Obviously, you got the Oscars coming up. Here was the 97th, I guess, Academy Awards. It's Sunday, March 2nd, airing your time 7, our time 4. We're on the coast here. That's the next big thing. But as far as projects go for you, what's on the horizon? And also, if our viewers would like to keep up with your career, where can they find your website, socials, etc.?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So my website is caitlincarr.com. My name is down right down here in the corner, if that
Carr
makes
with
it
two
into
R's, Carr, yeah.
Carr with two R's. Yeah. And same goes for Instagram, Caitlin Carr. Hopefully pretty easy to find. But like I mentioned, I'm working on a documentary, a really special project called, well, working title Fringe, and it followed a few comedians from New York and LA as they entered the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. And
Hmm.
it's kind of about their journey at that month-long festival, lots of highs and lows. So that's been really fun. Um, and I also have another narrative feature coming down the line, which will be my second after Blue Sun Palace. Blue Sun Palace is also coming out in select theaters in the springtime. So that's something to look out for too. Lots going on.
Yeah, great. Maybe something we can get for one of our Monday movie nights. Well, all good stuff. Again, congratulations on the nomination. We'll all be glued to our television sets, big and small screens, keeping an eye on how A LIEN does. And will you be there? Do they extend the invites to the editors?
It's not happening for this editor this time, but I know Sam and David and our wonderful producer Tara will be there holding it down for the team.
Excellent. Well, I hope I'm sure there's a party planned or some kind of gathering. So definitely worth celebrating one way or the other how things turn out. So I really appreciate your time today. Again, CaitlinCarr.com on Instagram at Caitlin Carr. Keep up with what she's up to and what we're up to at Gig Harbor Film Fest. Our Monday Movie Night series again at the Galaxy Theater, February 24th, 6:30 p.m. We're going to see all 5 Oscar-nominated shorts, and you can get your tickets at galaxytheaters.com. And of course, don't miss the 97th Academy Awards, Sunday, March 2nd, 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Make sure to tune in and see how A LIEN does. And again, Caitlin Carr, thanks so much for being with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt. This was awesome.
All right, best of luck.
Thanks.